Pepper Grinder is an indie darling that's finally making its way to Xbox. It feels like a lost arcade platformer, in which you take on the role of Pepper, a treasure hunter, who uses her grinder to dig through dirt, rock, snow, and more. You'll collect gems, turnips, murder bad guys, make daring escapes, and maybe she'll just steal your heart. Let's get into it in the XboxEra review of Pepper Grinder. The game begins with you washing ashore unconscious. Everything in Pepper Grinder is sprites and 2D planes, and I think it looks pretty neat. You are the Pepper of Pepper Grinder, and your main gameplay mechanic is your grinder. There are no twinks or bears to be found with this grinder though. Instead, you'll burrow your way through the environment as you platform through each play area. Things start in a sandy beach biome, move to rocky volcanoes filled with magma, and eventually you hit some snow and a bunch of other stuff as you work your way through this roughly 4-hour title. But don't let that short runtime get you down, as Pepper Grinder is a grind fest for the leaderboards. It's all time trials, but your initial run through a level is rarely going to be very fast, as things get tough early and you'll have only 4 pips of health to start with, losing one every time you get hit. If you lose them all, it sends you back to your last checkpoint. Those checkpoints are decently generous, and I didn't struggle once I got a hold of the game's movement. Pepper holds on to that grinder for dear life, no matter how hard it penetrates. You'll use the right trigger to rev up your mighty machine, and A while in the ground to do a speed boost. This can lead to massive jumps when you push your way through the holes and have a powerful climax. You are essentially surfing through material, which you then pop out of, either to do a normal jump platforming type of level or acrobatically fly around from grind to grind. And they never get too complicated with the controls, giving you a grappling hook on X and kind of just more things in the environment to worry about, not more buttons. Where Pepper Grinder shines is in that feeling of a constant flow as you penetrate every orifice in sight on the way to your end of level goal. The only thing you'll do often is jump when you're on the boring surface area of a map. Pepper doesn't have the greatest hops. Her power comes in the form of her mighty, meaty thrusts as she finishes a grind. The game uses that 2D pixel art style real well. It looks like it would be home on the Sega Saturn. Like everything's silkily animated. Pepper pops into the ground when she starts grinding real hard, and there's a lot of random spectacle in the background at times too, like a giant walking around in the early stages, and it ramps up throughout the game, giving it a mystique that the lack of a story wouldn't normally allow for. I played on a Series X, and the game seemed to be running at 60 FPS, and I do wish that this style would push more for a 120Hz mode, even if it doesn't change the frame rate, as that extra response time in a tight platformer like this is king. The music's nothing but solid bops. None of it was overly memorable, but it got me in the mood to grind some monster butts until their skeletons popped out. There's really not much story, no voice acting, and I think this game is better for it. A recent port on Xbox, Neon White, did its best to be this fun, zany anime romp, and it made the gameplay kind of drag out. Pepper Grinder is great for a quick hookup of fun. I played over a week without ever closing the title, and Quick Resume worked like a champ. 0 bugs, 0 crashes came my way, and is always a big old bonus in a game like this. Wrapping things up, Pepper Grinder is short, fun, and nails what it's going for. Real fun solo, but if you convince a few friends to maybe be a little curious and try it out, the leaderboard system could give you way more than 4 hours of a good time.